Am I the asshole giving money to my daughter's ex-husband? Basically, my daughter 20s divorced her husband 30s. They have a 3-year-old boy together who is the joy of our small family as he is our first grandson. They divorced last year and we found out earlier this year that it was because he was cheating on her since their son was born, but our daughter never provided a reason for why. I thought there might be more to the story, so I called him and we talked for a bit. I ended up finding out that my daughter had dealt with depression from her pregnancy that we had no idea about, and it took a toll on him. Before anyone gets mad at me for understanding his side, please know that he apparently tried to go to therapy with her multiple times and she rejected it, so it's not like he never tried to fix things. He still is very active in their child's life and co-parent. My daughter has seemed happy, so I assumed they were civil. A few weeks ago he called me and told me that he did not have any money to pay his rent this month. He used to live with my daughter but moved out when they separated, and that it was because he was helping to pay for a significant amount of his child's expenses. He is unemployed and has been sending most of his money to my daughter for their child. I felt really bad and decided to give him some money to pay his rent from my private account. We are pretty well off and I thought it would be cruel to let him become homeless when I could help him. Especially since my daughter has a good job, I thought it was rude of her to ask for money for their child knowing he could not afford it. It wasn't like she would become broke if he did not give her money for a few months. Then my daughter found out and became extremely upset with me, accused me of siding with her ex-husband over her, saying that I never cared that he cheated, which is not true. She thinks that because I am still friendly with her ex, but just because I am nice to him does not mean I'm okay with him cheating on her at all. I told her she should not want the father of her kid to become homeless. That was cruel and petty, and she basically just hung up on me and has not talked to me since then, which was a few weeks ago. My wife and I have argued over this as well. She completely agrees with my daughter and has called me ignorant. She thinks that I should have talked to my daughter before I gave him the money and that I am basically approving of her ex-husband's lifestyle and choices, which is absolutely not true. My only reason for giving him money was because he is the father of our grandson. She also said he should be paying for half since he is half the reason he exists. I understand what she means, but the fact is, he cannot afford to pay for his son right now, and my daughter can. Asking money from him is like kicking a man while he is already down. I think I did the right thing, but it is pretty hard to reassure myself of that when everyone else is mad at me. So am I the asshole here or not? Thanks. Edit. Sorry, I made a typo with my daughter's age. To clarify, she is in her late 20s and he in his early 30s. They met while she was in college. They did not know each other when she was 16. I'm not sure if I am allowed to edit what I wrote here again, but I am reading every comment and I understand better now where everyone and my daughter and wife are coming from when they say I am in the wrong. I appreciate the input and am taking into consideration what everyone is saying I should do. But I will say that I love my daughter and our grandson more than anything, and we are normally very close. We do not have a distant or abusive relationship, and any assumptions about that are wrong. I truly do care for her and would never, ever intentionally hurt her. But I do know that my actions here have not aligned with that, and I am thinking about how to fix things. I accept my judgment and I am aware that I am the asshole. I know I did the wrong thing here and I intend to fix it in whatever way my daughter prefers. But please stop insulting my family and insinuating I have abused my daughter or wife or that I have cheated on her. You can hate me and I accept it as the consequences of my actions, but I am not a cheater and have never even once thought about cheating on my wife. Thank you. You are the asshole. Your daughter was suffering with PPD and your ex-Sil decided it was a great time to go have an affair. Additionally, it doesn't matter if he is unemployed or living in a cardboard box, his financial responsibility to his child doesn't end. It's nice that you believe that your daughter deserved to be cheated on and should also have to pay for their child 100% on her own while her husband uses the bank of ex-Phil and refuses to get a job. Have you given your daughter money? Asked her if she needs anything? Emotionally supported her at all? You are the asshole. I thought it was rude of her to ask for money for their child knowing he could not afford it. Wow. Interesting how you brush off his cheating and then say your daughter is rude for expecting child support from the father of her child. Cheating is never acceptable. Just divorce someone if they make you unhappy. I can't even weigh in on the rest at this point. You are the asshole and part of you knows it because you kept it a secret. Edit. A wife's depression does not cause a husband's penis to fall into another woman's vagina. That was his decision. You are the asshole. You completely gloss over the cheating and basically blame your daughter's mental health rather than her ex's decision. Also, he has a child. He should be helping pay for raising that child. You are the asshole. He cheated, he is unemployed. Why do you chastise your daughter when he got himself into his situation? You're enabling bad behavior and alienating your own flesh and blood in the process. I wouldn't speak to you either. If he's that broke, why doesn't he get a job? You are the asshole. He should have divorced her if he couldn't handle her postpartum depression. Better to have more patience or to seek new methods of getting her to understand how important it is to work on her mental health. But otherwise, divorce cheating. Unless he never slept with your daughter during his affairs, he put her life in danger. Someone who puts your daughter's life in danger does not deserve a savior. It is not selfish to have him contribute financially towards his child. It is necessary and something he should have thought about before cheating on her. Also, I hope you paid his rent directly to the landlord. He's lied to your family already, don't be a fool. Info. If he cheated on her and clearly shows a lack of fatherly skills, why are you talking to him, let alone giving him money? Seems like the money could be better used, say, to take care of the child. You are the asshole. You literally just stated that it was fair for him to cheat on your daughter while they were raising a son and blamed it on her for post-birth depression, which is very serious. Quite frankly, I don't think you should be in your grandson's life. Such a bad influence and awful, father. I can't imagine what else you did to your daughter. Am I the asshole for using Make-A-Wish for myself? So I am a Make-A-Wish recipient and lately I've been feeling terrible about what I wished for through this organization. If you don't know, Make-A-Wish is an organization that donates wishes to those with a chronic or terminal illness. When I was younger, I have always been asked by this organization to make a wish for anything, whether it be trips or something I would like for myself personally. However, throughout the years I have refused them because I didn't think I needed anything, and also because my siblings kept asking me if they wanted to grant me a wish because I was gonna die soon, even though it turns out that was never the case. So I turned 18, and since that time I have underwent 3 surgeries since graduating high school. I have also had to take medical leave from university since the surgery didn't go well. During that time, Make-A-Wish had asked me if I wanted to wish for something and that this was my last chance to do so, and I told them I would consider it and let them know when I was ready. When I was ready to make my wish, I kept being pressured about wishing for a family trip, even though I honestly am not interested in traveling anywhere. Because of COVID, the traveling trips were cancelled and felt as if there was an opening to ask if I could get tuition money for school, but was told that they don't really do those kinds of wishes. At the end, I finally decided on a shopping spree to get the tech that I know I would need to purchase for university down the road, and also the ones I wanted. My mom has always been there in the hospital for me and felt as though it was selfish of me to make a wish that didn't benefit her or the family. And as a result decided to sell the computer, one of the gifts I got. I was also told by my brother that it was selfish of me to get this for myself and should have spent it equally on the whole family as they all suffer when I'm sick. I know it's true, but I am a student and wanted to have the ability to work from the comfort of my home and have an office set up, because in high school I always had to complete assignments at school or share the laptop amongst my siblings. I'm wondering, am I the asshole for wishing for myself? Update 1. My auntie has supported my decision and told me that I was clever when I was making my wish, as all of the things I was gifted would be useful for my studies and to make money. Update 2. Hello everyone, I went to sleep upset and uncertain but woke feeling overjoyed and confident from the support I have received from all you. It was amazing to see how many people gave me their support in fighting back against my family and letting me know I was not being selfish in this decision. I have contacted my Make-A-Wish representative and she has told me she will talk to my mom about it and let her know that I legally own the right to my gifts. I am prepared for some guilt tripping about me asking for help, but am prepared to just go through it for myself and for my education. I love you all, heart. Update 3. My Ma representative called my mom. She was so ashamed and livid. She started telling me how dare I spread lies about her. That she wasn't trying to sell it but was gonna bring it to work and lock in her work locker to keep it safe for me. First of all, the lockers given to work are small, and secondly, she locked it in her room first to teach me a lesson about being selfish. My Ma representative has told me she can further intervene and come to my house, confront my mom and hold my computer for me until I decide when I want it. I just want to give her another day to give it back. I will not drag this on because I feel that once it's died down she will sell it, because the reasons she gives me are always changing. Not the asshole. You shouldn't feel guilty for doing something that benefits you greatly. You didn't intentionally hurt anyone, and your opportunity to make a wish has wrongfully become overshadowed by your family taking it personally, as though it's their wish to make as well. It's not you but your family who is selfish. On a lighter note, congratulations on graduating high school and making it to university. You deserve the ability to celebrate yourself, always. Not the asshole. My brother was also a Make-A-Wish recipient and it didn't even cross my mind that his wish would be something to benefit the family. It would have been lovely to have a holiday but he was the one that was sick, so it would make sense that it was something for him. Not the asshole. You're supposed to wish for something for yourself. The whole point is to help the child who's suffering have something to enjoy and look forward to. I don't doubt that your parents and siblings had it hard as well, but there's a reason it's Make-A-Wish for sick children and not Make-A-Wish for siblings of sick children or Make-A-Wish for adults related to sick children. It's for you. Not the asshole. I can understand your family wanting to take a trip, and I can understand that your health problems and surgeries were stressful for them too, but I can't excuse them pressuring you to use your wish for the family. That is absolutely not the point of Make-A-Wish. It's for you, and you've used it very wisely. Not the asshole for making whatever wish you want. And if I'm reading this correctly, your mom sold your computer without your permission. That's theft. Not the asshole tell your family that their dream of cashing in on a sick kid's wish is so unoriginal that the Make-A-Wish people actually screen for greedy family members manipulating their sick kids for personal gain. Not the asshole, and if I were you I would seriously consider reporting what your mother did. To who? To Make-A-Wish? You are an adult at 18, at least in the US, and she stole your computer and sold it. Not the asshole. I can understand to some extent their POV, but it sounds like they're making their love and care for you as you recover entirely conditional. Especially since your mom stole your computer and sold it. They're treating it like you owe them for all the time you spent in the hospital and dealing with your condition. That's not a healthy family dynamic at all. Your wish was perfectly reasonable and it all goes towards helping you be as successful in your life as you can be. It's a shame your family can't understand and instead puts their own desires above you like that. Am I the asshole for leaving my MILs before dinner was served? My fiancé, 27M, and I, 25F, haven't seen my MIL since December 2019. Last weekend we went to see her and my Phil and we brought our daughter, 4F, for dinner. Our daughter is not my fiancé's biological child, but we were friends and reconnected after I left my ex, when my daughter was just a few months old. We started dating when she was about a year and my in-laws met her when she was about a year and a half, and have always said they consider her their grandchild. They've never treated her differently than the other grandchildren, she calls them abuela and abuelo, etc. So when we were visiting, my daughter went off to play with their dog, and my MIL turned to my fiancé and said, "So when will you give me a real grandchild?" We were both shocked. He reminded her that I almost died during my last labor, and we weren't sure if we wanted another child with the way the world is going right now. She said, "What do you mean another? You don't have a child." I started crying. I was adopted by my mom's new husband after my dad died, and when they got divorced, he dissolved the adoption and his family never spoke to me again. I was 5 when I got adopted and 17 when he dissolved it. It reminded me of that and I couldn't help it. My fiancé was angry, so after I stopped crying, we got our daughter and left. My Phil called me screaming that I made a scene and made his wife cry for telling her she wasn't really my daughter's grandmother. I was angry and told him what really happened. Of course he didn't believe me over his wife, so I gave the phone to his son. My Phil called me back the next day apologizing profusely for the phone call before and my MIL's actions. He said that he loves my daughter, she is his real grandchild, etc. However, everyone else in the family says that she's right, and my daughter isn't really part of the family because she isn't blood, she won't really be even when she's formally adopted, and I hurt my MIL's feelings by leaving so soon after we got there. My SIL said with my background I should get it. I was blindsided because no one has ever treated her differently, so I had no idea they felt like this. I feel like my reaction was normal, and my fiancé is so mad he wants to uninvite his mother from the wedding. They were very close before this, so paired with the rest of his family, I'm second-guessing myself. I don't want to be the reason they're not close, but she really hurt me, and it would have crushed my daughter if she'd heard, but maybe I overreacted? Edit to add. This also caused my Phil to stay with us. He hasn't spoken to my MIL since Wednesday. He was a dumpster baby, and was taken in by his parents when he was a toddler, so he took what she said to mean that he wasn't really a part of his family either, and there was a huge fight about it. I'm being blamed for it because if I hadn't left then they wouldn't have fought since he wouldn't have known anything was wrong. Edit. So the messages are not as kind as the comments on this post, but her bio father isn't in the picture. He decided when I was 8 months pregnant he didn't want her and told me to get an abortion or give her to his brother and his wife. I said no and that's why I left him. He has no legal rights to her, has never seen her, and doesn't even know her name. Mill wasn't protecting herself in case my ex took her away from them all. I also would have understood her being worried about that if she'd said it. But she's aware of this and knows the only reason my fiancé hasn't adopted our daughter is because he wants her to have a say and to be old enough to at least kind of understand what an adoption is. Not the asshole. Your Mill is 500% out of line here. And your fiancé has a nice, shiny spine. Good for him. He seems like a very good man and caring father. Let him deal with his mother, and maybe give him a nice back rub or something afterwards. Not the asshole I would uninvited the sister-in-law to. You're not the reason they won't be close. His mother's complete lack of respect towards you and your daughter will be. Kudos to your fiancé. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Family includes adopted children. Only hateful people would exclude them or make them feel as if they are less. The Mill and anyone siding with her is ta. Not the asshole. Please op. Don't take your daughter to these people again. Let your Phil visit, but the rest has showed how they actually feel about her and it's inhuman to force her to spend time with them. Not the asshole. Your Mill is though. If she doesn't view your child as real then how can she be sad she's not a grandma to her? Not the asshole. I can't imagine how it must feel to be in a situation where you thought you were surrounded by people who you believed were family but they thought something different. And for your Sil to then say you should understand because of what happened to you is low because it clearly hurt you a lot. I think your Mill knew she was wrong straight away and that's why she lied to your Phil about what happened. I don't think you overreacted at all, because there will probably be a hesitancy around you and your in-laws due to this. I would say it may be good for your partner and your Mill to have a chat first just so he asserts how close he is to your child so she hears it from him. Not the asshole. Do not ever take your child around these people. She doesn't deserve to be told she's not family or to be treated as less than. Am I the asshole for telling the teenager who lives with me that she has to leave? Edit 2.0 Just clarifying the drugs in question in marijuana. Apologies for any confusion but I've only ever known dope to mean marijuana. Her boyfriend isn't living here. I agreed to him staying a week as he lives 4 hours away but somehow that snowballed on me. So last September my 18-year-old daughter asked me to let 2 of her friends, 17 female plus 18 male, live with us. I have a 3BR house which already had 5 of us living here, myself 35 female, partner 41 male, daughter 1 and partner 18 female plus 19 TM. And daughter 210 female. But I'm a softie and these kids were in a bad situation so I agreed. Straight away I recognized that they needed more than a roof and food, and started trying to help them wherever I could. Things like doctors, dentists and mental health issues. The girl in particular had had a rough start in life to the point where her birth had never even been registered. Fast forward 2 months and my daughter is unhappy with me over letting them get away with things that she'd be in trouble for and decides she's had enough and if I won't kick them out she'll move out. I tried to explain that they needed more leeway having basically been neglected most of their lives. In the end she got fed up and moved out. Not too long after that the friends broke up and the boy also moved out. Since then I've bent over backwards trying to help the girl get her life back on track but it's been a hard road as she struggles with drug and alcohol issues and as far as the government was concerned didn't actually exist anywhere on paper. During the last 7 months she's come and gone a couple of times. I keep giving her second chances. But the most recent time I said she could only stay with us if she stayed drug-free. For a while she was doing great. And then her boyfriend came to stay. For the last 2 weeks they've been out around her old haunts getting wasted because he needs the dope, so a couple of nights ago I told her that, now that she finally has her birth certificate and should soon be getting government assistance I think it would be best if she and her dog moved out since she hadn't kept our agreement. The dog has stayed with us while she came and went because her parents had also neglected it. By the way I said it I made it clear that there would be no more second chances which had also been made clear before she'd come back this last time. I'm just so tired and heartbroken. Trying to do right by this girl has hugely impacted my relationship with my daughter, my mental health and also cost quite a lot financially. I tried to show her that not everyone in life would be like her parents but now I feel like I'm abandoning her too. So I gotta ask, am I the asshole I think I am, or am I right to step back and let her live with the consequences of her decisions? Edit. There has always been a no drugs policy in my house, and all the teens were expected to help out either with board or chores. And while my leniency towards this girl was part of my daughter's decision to move out, it was not the only factor. My daughter, her and her partner decided they didn't like my partner, whom she'd never before had issue with, and our pet birds, who I ended up rehoming to try to appease them. You are the asshole for knowingly putting your younger daughter in an environment like that. You are the asshole. You should have kicked her out when your daughter threatened to move out. You didn't hold them to the same standards. They didn't ruin you and your daughter's relationship. You did. Allowing anyone to live with you, especially your daughter's peers, without rules or boundaries was a big mistake. Especially when it comes to addiction. You're not the asshole for making her leave, but you are the asshole for letting your own and your family's well-being suffer for someone you basically didn't even know. Enabling people and becoming a martyr helps no one. You are the asshole, but not for the reason you said. You should have kicked this girl out when your daughter threatened to move or when she followed through with it. I understand trying to help this girl, but you shouldn't let it come between you and your daughter. Everyone sucks here except your kids. Sounds like the friends fooled you. How does the girl come up with a birth certificate? Her birth must have been registered by the hospital. Unless she was born in the wild. They both need to figure out how to handle their own affairs, especially if they were neglected before. You can't wait for someone to do things for you, or you will always be helpless. A lot of young homeless people have to lie and manipulate nice people like you to get by. You and your partner should not allow them back in. Not the asshole for telling her she needed to leave, but you are the for giving her so many chances. These were no longer second chances after the initial second chance. It was you being a doormat because you somehow felt it was your responsibility to save her. Drugs and alcohol use should not have been afforded a second chance. Why did you let her drug-using boyfriend stay there, knowing exactly what would happen? You should have put both of your daughters first. Info. Do you know where your daughter is staying and if she's safe? So you abandoned your daughter in order to not abandon someone else's daughter? You are the asshole because while your heart is in the right place, your actions and focus are doing tons of harm to your own family. That many people and animals in a house that size aren't okay by itself. The drug use and people going in and out is a whole other mess. Your daughter leaving, of course, was due to many factors, because this whole living situation seems unhealthy for everyone involved. And I won't even talk about what impact this is likely having on your 10-yo. Instead of taking on problems and setting your whole family on fire to keep others warm, help guide people to resources and prioritize your children in your life.